Welcome to part 2 of the series, 40 Weird Fun Facts You Won't Believe Are Real. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, I'll leave the link in the description. Fact 41. Sweden has the most islands of any country. With 221,800 islands, Sweden is believed to have more islands than any country in the world. However, only 1,000 of them are inhabited. Fact 42. The red-billed Quelea is the most common bird on Earth. You may have never seen one in your community, but that doesn't mean they aren't building a legion. These birds are native to sub-Saharan Africa, where they're considered agricultural pests because their flocks can destroy entire crops. Their population fluctuates between 1 to 10 billion Queleas, which makes scientists conclude that they are the most abundant birds on Earth. Fact 43. The hashtag symbol is called an octothorpe. The octo- prefix refers to the 8 points on the symbol, but it's not clear where the thorpe originated. Some theorize that it comes from the Old English word for village, since the symbol almost looks like a village surrounded by 8 fields. Fact 44. The longest wedding veil was longer than 63 football fields. If you think you've seen how crazy grand weddings can get, think again. Maria Paraskeva claimed the Guinness World Record for the longest wedding veil in 2018. This dream-come-true veil measured nearly 23,000 feet, which is the size of 63.5 football fields. Fact 45. No real astronaut ever said, "Houston, we have a problem." The famous line was only said by Tom Hanks in the movie Apollo 13. Fact 46. The lyrebird can make chainsaw sounds. The Australian lyrebird can mimic not only animals, but it can imitate sounds from other inanimate objects such as cars, cameras, and chainsaws. Fact 47. 9% of Americans have phobias. Over 19 million people in the U.S. have a specific phobia, with some having more than one. In teenagers, the prevalence of specific phobias in teenagers is higher at 15.1%. Do you have a specific phobia? Share it in the comments. Also, what's the weirdest phobia you've ever heard of? Fact 48. Elvis only won 3 Grammys. The king of rock and roll had 18 number 1 hits in his career, but only bagged 3 awards out of his 14 nominations. Instead, the record for the most Grammy wins belongs to George Solti, the longtime leader of Chicago Symphony Orchestra, at 31 Grammy Awards. Fact 49. Cornell University offers a wine course. Technically, it's called a degree in viticulture and enology. The program deals with grape cultivation and the science of winemaking. Fact 50. The Krusty Krab restaurant is a lobster trap. In SpongeBob SquarePants, 1999, the Krusty Krab is actually designed after a lobster trap. Pretty dark for a cartoon about sea creatures. Fact 51. The Hulk was supposed to be gray. Creator Stan Lee initially wanted the Hulk to be gray, but due to ink problems, the Hulk turned out green. However, the misprint was explained in canon as the 2 Hulk personas, Gray versus Green, fighting in Bruce Banner's subconscious. Fact 52. The Flintstones was the highest-earning network cartoon franchise for 30 years. However, this record was beaten by The Simpsons in 1996. Fact 53. Walt Disney hated Goofy. Hayek. As one of the first Disney staples, you'd be surprised to know that Disney actually hated the character of Goofy. He thought the cartoon was stupid, and the only reason he kept the character was to save other workers' livelihoods. Fact 54. The place that cartoon characters store things, just to pull out of thin air, is known as Hammerspace. If you've ever seen Tom and Jerry, you'd be familiar with those scenes where Jerry would pull a bat out of nowhere to bonk Tom mid-chase. However, animators have given this unseen, mysterious sphere where characters pull objects out of a name, the Hammerspace. Fact 55. Superman used to leap places instead of flying. In fact, Superman flying was only a somewhat recent development. In the 1940s, Superman would only leap onto tall buildings. Thinking it looked silly, the animators of Superman's first animated show requested permission to give him flight. Superman's been flying high ever since. Fact 56. The longest-running primetime animated series is The Simpsons, which began in 1987. Before the reign of The Simpsons, there were the Flintstones. However, towards the end of the 90s, a new family was in town. Matt Groening's The Simpsons quickly overtook the Flintstones in terms of profit. The show is currently at its 19th season, with a running total of 672 episodes. Fact 57. Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse were married in real life. Wayne Allwine, the voice of Mickey Mouse, married Russi Taylor, the voice of Minnie, in 1991. Allwine voiced Mickey for 32 years, while Taylor voiced Minnie from 1986 until her death in 2019. Fact 58. The Pokemon Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan are based on Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan. Pokemon is an RPG known for its world building, which includes creating Pokemon inspired from animals, objects, space, and, turns out, even renowned martial artists. Generation 1's fighting-type Pokemon Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan were made as homages to the great Kung Fu masters. Fact 59. All the professors in Pokemon have been named after trees. If you've played or watched Pokemon, you'd notice that through all generations, the professors are named after trees: Professor Oak of Gen I, Professor Elm of Gen 2, Professor Birch of Gen 3, all up to Professor Sycamore of Gen 9. Fact 60. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was the first American film to have a soundtrack. In 1937, Snow White became the first American film to ever release a soundtrack. The songs were composed by Frank Churchill and Larry Morey, while Paul J. Smith and Lee Harline composed the music score. Fact 61. The Little Mermaid was Disney's first princess movie in 30 years. When Disney released Sleeping Beauty, it was such a box office bomb that the company was put off creating princess movies. Disney didn't make another princess movie until 30 years later, when The Little Mermaid was released in 1989. Fact 62. Jackie Chan voiced the Beast in the Chinese dub of The Beauty and the Beast. Jackie Chan dubbed the Beast's voice for the Chinese translation of The Beauty and the Beast, including the singing. Fact 63. The Lion King was the first original Disney movie. The Lion King was the first animated Disney film that was not an adaptation of an existing story. Fact 64. Bees bite. To protect their hives from outsiders, some guard bees will monitor the entrance and sniff bees that come in. If they find an outsider bee from another hive, the guard bee will bite and sting the intruder. Fact 65. Kids ask about 300 questions a day. A 2013 study showed that the average kid asks one question every 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Of all types of children, girls aged 4 are the most curious, asking 390 questions per day. Interestingly, 82% of children would ask their mother first before their father. Fact 66. T-shirts were originally made for unmarried men who didn't know how to sew buttons on collared shirts. However, people really didn't pay much mind to T-shirts until the 1950s. Fact 67. All Fruit Loops have the same flavor. Yup, you've been lied to. Fact 68. Before the 1800s, people slept in batches. Before, people had a first and second sleep. Towards the evening, they would sleep for 3 to 4 hours, wake for 2 to 3 hours to do some activities, then go back to sleep until morning. Fact 69. Cows have best friends and will get stressed when separated. If a cow is taken away from her best friend, her stress levels will decrease her milk yields. Surprisingly, cows are not the only species who form attachments to certain companions. The best friend preference is also observed in certain bats, elephants, chimps, and dolphins. Fact 70. New Zealanders have more pets per household than any other country. 68% of households in New Zealand have a pet, which is more than any other country in the world. Fact 71. The design for the seatbelts we use now was given away by Volvo. Before 1966, seatbelts were not mandated. During this period, seatbelts just secured the lap but offered no upper body protection. When Nils Bohlin of Volvo invented the three-point seatbelt design, he gave away the patent for free to keep drivers safe. Fact 72. Kia parrots laugh together when they're in a good mood. Kia parrots are the first known non-mammal species to communicate with laughter. Fact 73. Flighting was the original rap battle. Way before flip-top and rap battles, there was flighting, the artful exchange of witty, insulting lines. Flighting was popular in the 5th to 16th century England and Scotland. Fact 74. The Russians showed up 12 days late to the 1908 Olympics. It was no sweat, though. Back then, the Olympics lasted for 6 months. The Russians showed up late to the 1908 London Olympics because they were using the Julian calendar, which is 2 weeks behind the Gregorian calendar already used by the rest of the world. Fact 75. In Japan, letting a sumo wrestler make your baby cry is considered good luck. One of the coolest fun facts about Japan, they have a ritual where sumo wrestlers make babies cry. Sounds like a dream for me, but a nightmare for parents. However, the ritual is said to bring good luck. The Naki Sumo is a 400-year-old Japanese ritual where babies engage in a baby cry sumo. 2 sumo wrestlers face each other carrying a baby each. The sumo wrestlers will try to make the babies cry, and the child that cries first or the loudest wins. Fact 76. Black cats are good luck in Britain and Japan. Black cats may have been universally seen as bad luck, but that isn't the case for Great Britain and Japan. In fact, new brides are given black cats to bless their marriage in the English Midlands. In Japan, black cats are a symbol of good luck for single women. Fact 77. Ben and Jerry learned how to make ice cream from a $5 course at Penn State. The titular Ben Cohen and Jerry Greenfield were childhood friends. Although Greenfield finished college, he was unable to pursue med school. Cohen, on the other hand, dropped out of school. In 1977, Cohen and Greenfield completed a course on ice cream making from Pennsylvania State University's creamery. One of the fun facts no one knows about this famous product: have you ever wondered why Ben and Jerry's is so chunky? Ben Cohen actually a condition where he can't smell or taste anything. Instead, he relied on food textures to provide variety in his diet. This led to the company's trademark chunks in their ice cream. Fact 78. The official plural form of a Prius is Pry. After an online poll in 2011, Toyota announced the official plural form of the Prius, it's Pry. Add that to the fun facts you never even thought of, but know now. We hope you find peace. Fact 79. Dogs can understand up to 250 words and gestures. The average dog is as smart as a 2-year-old child. Fact 80. Goats have rectangular pupils. Have you ever looked at a goat and thought, man, why do you look so weird? Goats have been used for different religious imagery and have been associated with satanic or demonic themes. Hello, insidious demon. One of the fun facts about goats is that their weird, rectangular pupils actually give them a wider range of vision to look out for predators. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for part 3.